Uh, a bit of like background. How did I manage to give this talk? Actually, Ramu approached me, so he said, "Why not just give a talk about my flying experience?" So my first question is, what has piloting got to do with space, right? I know this is a meetup on space stuff, Okay, so he told me that actually many astronauts have pilot licenses. Okay, so I read out and yeah, it's really true. You can see this article, right? Okay, like I just show you here, So again, this is by Ask the Astronaut. So the key thing is that NASA believes, that flying experience builds decision-making and judgment skills that greatly improves your odds of being successful and surviving in space. And the key part here is like, if you choose to pursue a private pilot's license on your own, you'll find flying to be challenging, rewarding, and fun, and you'll be ahead of the curve in preparing to work in space. So I think this is the closest association I can find out that links to your meetup team, Okay. So maybe I'm that much closer to be astronaut. Okay. So as everything, right, it starts with a dream, Okay. So I've always thought about learning to fly, be the person controlling the plane instead of being just the passenger. Okay. So but I didn't do that when I was younger. I didn't think much about Youth Flying Club then. And by the time I realized it was too late, I'm past the age of applying to Youth Flying Club. Okay, so up to 2 years ago, this was exactly 2 years, almost exactly 2 years ago, a friend of mine called Roger, this guy here, and Joyce, right? So yeah, Joyce is my friend, and Roger, he recommended like him because he has a plane. This is his plane, He owns that plane. So he said, okay, let's go for a joyride in Senai. And Senai is an airport in Johor. Okay, so I went with them, and this is some pictures over there. Okay, so that got me thinking that I said someday I will learn how to fly one of these. And note the date, September 13, 2017. So obviously I achieved my goal already. But that was then. Okay, so I looked up my options. The first thing is, obviously, can I learn to fly in Singapore? Right, that's a logical choice. So I look up this. Okay, the thing about flying is that if you take a license in that country, right, you can only fly a plane that's registered in that country. This is not like a car. You take a license, you can drive any car as long as you got international driving permit. But plane, you cannot. Plane, you take a license in Singapore, you can only fly a Singapore registered plane. Take a license in Malaysia, you can fly a Malaysian registered plane only, and same for US. Okay, so travel-wise, right, negligible. Seletar Airport is nearby. Okay, so the thing in Singapore is that you need to do part-time. And if you do part-time, you take 1 to 2 years, assuming you do once every week. And to maintain the license, right, you need to fly at least 5 hours every year. 2 of them must be the instructor. I think the SYFC guy, right, Calgary is correct, right? 5 hours every year. Okay, but the worst thing, right, is that the Singapore license is a restricted license. So what this means is that you cannot fly the plane out of Singapore. Can you imagine Singapore airspace is so small? You take a flying license and you cannot fly out of Singapore. Okay, the reason is that Singapore airspace is too small. You cannot have the full private pilot training. So in order to remove that restriction, you need to take up training in another country to continue. Then after that, you tell CAS, I did my cross-country flight. Okay, then CAS will remove that restriction. So usually most people go to Malaysia to do it. Now that begs the question, right? Why not just go to Malaysia in the first place, right? Okay, so the thing is, the nearest airport, Senai Airport, right, is 1.5 hours away. Assuming not just the route there, you need to clear custom everything, 1.5 hours from Singapore to go there. Then again, the same thing, part-time, 1 to 2 years. Imagine every week you go there. It's quite tiring. The thing to maintain a Malaysian license, you need to take an annual flight test with the examiner. Every year, you need to find some examiner there to say that, okay, you are still good. He will test you. Then this killer factor, you need to be a minimum of 30 years old for a foreign student pilot. So even as of today, I still haven't hit this limit yet. I'm close to there, but I'm not there yet. So I still cannot take the Malaysia option. And even if you're above 30 years old, right, you still need something called a training visa, which is hard to get also. So leave the last option, which is go to the US. Okay, so travel to the US, yes, it's far, but it's one-off travel. You can take full-time, a few months. Now the cool thing about maintaining a US license is that you just need to do a biennial review. That means every 2 years, right, you take a test with the instructor. Instructor deems you okay, he will sign your logbook, you can continue to fly. And the number of planes, of US registered planes, is a lot in terms of general aviation, even more than in Singapore. You go to Seletar Airport, right? The only 2 Singapore registered general aviation planes are these 2. No other planes. You take a Singapore license, you can only fly these 2 planes. Very pathetic, eh? At least out of Singapore, these 2 planes. So there are a lot of US registered planes at Seletar Airport. So it's obvious if you take a US license, it's generally more powerful. Okay, so this is more of a people ask me okay, what does private pilot license mean in the grand scheme of things, right? So it is the first stage. So usually a single engine, as a private pilot, I cannot earn money, and most hobbies usually stop here. Okay, after a private pilot is called instrument rating, means you can fly in very low visibility or no visibility. So some hobbies take this up also as a safety. Beyond that, it's called a commercial license. You finally can earn money. Know that everyone you take test one. Okay, after the commercial license, you can take a multi-engine rating. Then finally you can fly a multi-engine plane. All this while, right, you only can fly this tiny plane only. Then after that, right, you can fly a jet if you take a jet type rating. Now this is the thing. To learn how to fly a jet, it takes $50,000 to $100,000. And finally, you can be a first officer. But to be a captain, right, you need something called an airline transport pilot license. At least 1,500 hours. That means you do everything, 1,500, then you take this ATPL. Then you can be a captain. Does not mean that you are a captain. That is an airline, their jobs, right? But you're at least qualified to be one. So I only at the first stage. Okay, so what I did, I googled, right? There's actually a school called Flight School actually in Singapore. So what they do is that you take some simulator and night classes here for about 3 months. Then you go over to their partner school, it's called San Diego Flight Training International. Okay, so to do the practical test. So in Singapore, there's no practical at all, only the simulator. Okay, so I signed up for this program. Right now, it's a long time ago already. I started in 6th of April. Then I used that simulator. It's my first solo. Okay, not much to say. So I went over to San Diego in 14 November. Okay, so this is the airport, Montgomery Gibbs, where I will spend a very long time there. Okay, so for the first 1.5 weeks, right, there's something called a TSA clearance. TSA stands for, I think, Transport Security Administration. It's an agency in the US, right, that will do a background check on you to make sure that you're not a terrorist. So this process, right, took 1.5 weeks. And in this 1.5 weeks, you're not allowed to touch the real plane. You can only do ground school. And ground school is a lot, as in really a lot of theory. So you just every day just hit the books, the instructor go through with me, right, make sure I know my stuff. And every day watching aircraft take off and land. So this is a trike. Singapore, you never ever see a trike. Oh, in US, they anything goes on. This thing land at the normal airport. And this airport used by many other places, by jets also. Then they just let a trike there. Okay, so there's also something called theory test. Driving, you also got driving theory test, right? MCQ, flying also have. So there's one test that to test everything. They test all these systems. See, plane and non-plane stuff. So much. And the minimum pass rate is 70%. So I got 90%. Okay, so we passed on first try. But there's a lot of preparation work that went behind this. Because if I fail the test, right, the school may get it. Like the FAA, how come your students so lousy one? Right? So the school sets very high standards. Okay, so this is the program that I was in. It's called 141. Not everybody do this way. I just happen to do this way. And this way has involved many stage checks. So first stage is called train for solo. Let me go to there. Okay, before that, right, this is the plane I fly. Like I learned to fly. So 4-seater, you all know what Cessna 172, right? In case you all don't know, right, that plane is the most produced plane in the world. It will shock some people. Look at the number 1 most produced plane, Cessna 172, 44,000 made, 1956 to count, and making still to the present. Because when you ask people what's the most common plane in the world, they'll tell you Airbus or Boeing plane. And this is the most common plane in the world. Surprising, because it's a trainer aircraft. Okay, so you see a very modest specs, right? 122 knots and 13,500 feet service ceiling. But good enough for trainer. Why you need such advanced plane, right? Okay, so for first stage, right, it's called train for solo. That means from zero, right, to able to fly a plane by yourself within the airport area. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff. They say pre-flight, airport operations. Pre-flight means what what things you need to check for before you take the plane out. Airport operation means how to navigate yourself in the airport. ATC, how to talk over the radio. Stalls means when the aircraft loses lift, what to do. Slow flight means you fly the aircraft very, very slowly. And emergency, in case of engine failure, what you do. So all this you have to know before the instructor will let you go solo. Okay, so these are some very nice scenery that you'll never ever get in Singapore. Even Malaysia also, you don't have this thing. Right? Very nice, right? Yeah, San Diego. So yeah, then I got to go to one airport in Ramona. Ramona is an airport nearby. You see, the space so big at US. Okay, so at the end of every stage, right, there's something called stage check. That means this stage check is done by another instructor to evaluate whether you are good enough to go to the next stage. Okay, so I have to pass this stage check before I can do my first solo. Okay, so let me give you the learning points that I made from this first stage check which I failed. Okay, so this is the airport Montgomery where I was based at, and this is called Alpine Training Area. So it's very common that when you do aircraft training, you don't train near the airport because they're very busy. So you go to somewhere a bit further where it's more empty. Okay, so the thing is, this is how I will go there. I will climb to 3,500, I'll take off, maintain 3,500, climb to 5,500 and go there. Then do all the stuff. The tester will tell me do this. Once it's done, right, I will descend to 4,000, 3,500, 2,800, then back to 427, which is the elevation of the airport. Okay, so now this is where the fun thing came about. He said, climb to 5,500 feet when able. At this position, I'm supposed to start climbing when I pass here. Okay, so I did. And when I reached 4750, right, he said, my controls. Now in the test, if the tester said my controls, means you fail already. Because you broke or going to break a rule. Then when mind control, you're supposed to let go, the tester will control the aircraft and do something to make it safer. Okay, right. So the thing is, in the debrief, right, he asked me, do you know why you failed? Then I say, because I hit the airspace. Now I look at this zone, 48 to 100, this is 4,800 to 10,000, right? It's something called a class Bravo airspace. Basically, it's an airspace that you need special permission to enter. You cannot just go up like that. Okay, so the reason why we climb to 5,500 only after this point is because you see this zone ends here. And I start climbing here. Then he say, I tell you this instruction, what you going to follow? So I tell you to eat shit, you eat . Okay, he didn't say that . But you get the idea what is he trying to do, right? So the learning point is, other people tell you to do this, you think first . Don't go and just because I'm a tester or instructor, I tell you you're going to do. Right? So like that. So this is what he's trying to drill to me. So of course I learned then next day I did a stage check again, right? Retest, right? He never do this already. Okay, so after I pass the first stage check, I can do my first solo. Okay, so the first solo I wait 3 days for perfect weather. Okay, I will just show you all. Where's my first solo video here. Okay, so this is what I will do in my first solo. I'll basically just go round and round the airport, take off and land a few times. Okay, so I got subtitles here. So I just show you all the interesting parts of my first solo, not everything. The whole solo is 1 hour. Okay, so let's see how I begin. I first have to ask the ground controller. At speed information uniform, frequent taxi for 2 left, close traffic, full stop, student pilot for solo.
Cessna 2441 Echo Montgomery ground, runway 28 left, taxi via Juliet Hotel, Bravo.
Juliet Hotel Bravo, 28 left, 2441 Echo.
Okay, so ask the ground controller, I state my intentions, I say I'm a student pilot on first solo, then I'll taxi over to the runway. Okay, so let me fast forward there. Okay, so I'm reaching the runway already here. Okay, so I will do something like a pre-takeoff checks. I'll just run through, make sure that everything's okay. You see, I switch the frequency over. Then I'll talk to the tower to ask them for takeoff clearance.
Covering tower, Ramu 441 Echo, holding short, 28 left, ready for close traffic full stop, to the pilot for solo.
That's the 244 after Mark McDavick, left foot traffic runway 28 left clear for takeoff. Tower will call crosswind, so you continue on runway heading.
Clear for takeoff, 28 left, wait for you to call my crosswind, 2441 Echo.
This is a GoPro at the back, mounted at the back. Some people they mount it at the front, but because I want to see the instruments, yeah, so I don't have a choice. It's to be mounted there. Okay, so what I'll do is I just show you one takeoff and 2 landings. My first landing was screwed up. Yeah. Then I just go, then apply full power, go. I think a lot of people have not seen a cockpit view before, right? Haven't seen before, right? Okay. 640. Okay, so I will just fast forward to my first landing. Okay. So this landing was bad, so you'll see why. Okay, so once a few times that I do a go around already. Actually, I reacted a bit too slow. I should actually full power. My instructor will later say he almost vomit for this because he was observing. Okay. See this? There's a lot of radio going on behind. So many going on, right? Then I'll say I will do a go round. But I need to tell the tower that I'm doing a go round. I delay a bit to 913.
Need to go around. For the option to in left to 441 Echo.
Okay, so go one round lah. Come back.
South of center line, work about 2.5 miles west of the field.
Police 1, Roger, proceed to request additional traffic at based on final 28 left and below traffic.
That is me. That's not final 2 left is me.
Looking for this.
4175, make it right down with departure traffic ahead in the right crossway, runway 28 right, clear for takeoff.
Okay.
Rolling out on the runway now.
Okay, so my first successful solo landing. Okay, yeah. So I will make a total of 3 to 4 lah, but I'm not going to show all of y'all that. Okay, so this is first solo is widely viewed to be one of the most memorable for any pilot lah. The first time there's no instructor beside you, then you basically you do or die is only you one person only lah. Okay. Okay, so now I'm in stage 2, right? I will do a training for cross-country solo. It means I can fly myself to another airport. Right now it's just fly myself in the airport area only, right? Okay, so now it's a bit more complicated. I think I just sit down lah. Okay, so now I'll do something called how to make a flight plan, like how to plan to go another place. Pilotage means to look out the aircraft. Diversion means that how do I go to another airport in case my primary airport has a problem. Lost position, if I get lost, what to do? And this soft and short field takeoff and landing, right, means you take off and land in a very short distance, right, or in the condition where you need to touch down very softly. So as part of my training, I will go to this airport called Hermit Ryan. 55 nautical miles will be about 100 kilometers, and it's a glider port. You can see there's a glider here. So you never ever see gliders in Singapore. I don't think Malaysia has gliders also. May not have. Okay, so in US you can see a lot of things. Okay, very nice scenery. Then I got a chance to overfly Miramar. remind in case you know it's a Top Gun. The way they film Top Gun is this place. And these are the F-18 jets. You can see these are Osprey, V-22 Osprey. So many, they just park like that. Then you can just fly over the airport. They take picture. They don't care. Okay, so at the end of my stage 2, I do a stage check. I failed a stage check, so I tell you why. So, okay, I was at this position here, 7,500 feet. Okay, then the tester said, okay, please bring me to this airport called On the Rocks. Okay, so as part of the diversion procedure, what you have to do is you need to find how the direction to go there. So let's say at here, you need to take out the map, then take this thing, then after that you can plot. Oh, so about 230 degrees, example. Then you start flying towards it. Okay, now the thing is, right, I was at 7,500, but look at this thing, this number here, 5,800 to 10,000. It means there's a special airspace here, again the class Bravo. If I just maintain my altitude going at that, I'll be breaking the law already. So I need to descend before I enter this place. Okay, then the next thing is I need to find the distance. After that, find the ground speed, estimate the time I take to get there. All this information you must tell the tester. After that, estimate the fuel use to make sure that with your remaining fuel you can actually make it there. Okay, so now the problem is when I descended to 5,500, my aircraft actually drifted to this position because of the wind. So it's see, the wind always affected. Then the problem is, right, I never go and recalculate. I go and continue 230 degrees heading. So if it's like that, you sure cannot make it to this position. So the tester failed me, cannot make it. Yeah. So because of this, I had to redo my stage check for this particular portion. And I had to do remedial lessons for 6 days because the test is not free. Then I passed on 5th of January. Okay? Wow. So hard, right? Then okay, the solution to this is that by right, when you're descending, right, you're supposed to make sure you maintain your current position. The way to do it, right, is to do a turn around the point. It's called a ground reference maneuver. You pick a landmark, the point on the ground, and you orbit around it. I didn't do that, so end up drift. Okay, so after I cleared the stage 2, right, I will do a cross-country solo flight. So this was I will do several, but this is the longest one. So from Montgomery, right, I will fly all the way to Torrance. Torrance is in Los Angeles, from San Diego. So the distance from here to here is about Singapore to Malacca. Then after that, come back, go to Ramona. Ramona is the airport. Again, in equivalent distance, something like Johor. Then fly back here. 3 hours, Wow, this is xiong. Okay, so in stage 3, right, finally, once I do that, this stage 3 is called prepare for check right. So everything that I do in stage 1 and 2 will be tested. Basically, everything will be tested. Okay, steep turns, ground reference maneuver, and I failed my first stage check on 21st of January. So I was very bad at landings. I spent extra 15 hours just to do landings. Short field landings, they're very difficult. And I did some other stuff I failed also. Then again, 6 days later, then I'll take my next stage check. And once I clear the next stage check, it will be a final check right, 29 January. So the check right also not that easy. It's 3 to 4 hours of oral exam. The check right, the examiner will ask you stuff. Everything that you're supposed to know. The law, really everything he can ask you. Then do a flight 1.5 to 2 hours where he'll test you in on everything. And you must do a flight plan, summer and winter flight plan. US got Then luckily I passed this on the first try. So I was to take pictures because these two are my instructors. This guy Davinder, right, he was with me from Singapore, from Flight School actually also. This guy was this is a check right, the examiner. This guy is a stage check instructor. The guy who failed me everything. The 3 times. This guy. Then this guy was my instructor at Flight School actually. Okay, so my presentation haven't ended yet. This is just not even halfway. Okay, so I like to tell people this. People ask me, how easy it is, right? They say I play Flight Simulator at home very easier. Oh, okay. Oh, somebody. Okay. So I tell people there's a statistic that 80% of student pilots don't complete their training. Very scary statistic. But if you Google, it's somewhere there, like that. Because there's so many things that can happen. Okay, so you need money, you need tiny determination, you need aptitude. You do some of them, you cannot. Okay. So I was almost part of this 80%. Because right, on 26th of January, right, there's this. After I failed the stage 3, I do not know when my re-stage 3 will happen. So I'm going to text my instructor, is there a time limit, right, for training? Can I come back next time, Yeah. So my instructor said no aspiration on training, just need to build proficiency. But luckily, I got booked for next stage check on 27th January and I passed that. I was saying I was so close to being not able to come back with my license, Okay, so that was the more of the emotional aspects. Now I'll talk to you about the theoretical aspects, right? So planning and making a flight, what are the things you have to do, right? So let's say from here to here, we want to go to this airport, how to do, right? So the most direct way is straight line, but that's not always possible because of the airspace. So you can go here, you can go here. So there are many considerations that they may ask you, the examiner may ask you. Okay, so there are all these things. I'm not going to go through. Yeah, so it's not so simple. The next one is actually do the flight plan. You see, all these are waypoints, I need to calculate all the waypoints out, take account of wind, right? Check the weather forecast. Then after that, make sure all the runway length, right, airport can support my aircraft. Right? I need to plan for alternate airport. If my primary airport got issue, let's say someone crashed there, the airport closed. How? You need to go to another airport, right? Then fuel, I need to make sure I got enough fuel, right? I need to cannot plan the airport so far away that I cannot even fly there, right? Takeoff and landing distances also need to base on the wind, temperature. All this will affect how much runway the aircraft needs. All this needs to be done ahead of time. Then weight and balance. Okay, so this is a weight and balance form that I use that was issued by the school there. But everywhere also the same. Basically, right, don't need to see the numbers there. The idea is that you need to make sure that the plane is not overloaded. The center of gravity is not too far off it's still within the envelope. So before I take any passenger, I need to ask everyone what's your weight. Yeah, it cannot exceed. So it's very easy to exceed. These kind of small planes, you may think there are 4 seats there. You think can put 4 people. Most of the time cannot actually. Most of the time it's just 3 people only. Unless you're willing to say I take half fuel or something like that. Okay. Personal equipment. Okay, so this is where I'll pass you all some, show you all some nice souvenirs. Okay, so maybe to start with the top left, right? This one. So this is called a view limiting device. Where at that, right? It's for partial instrument training. It's not instrument rating, but as a private pilot, right, they want us to able to fly the aircraft when there's poor visibility for a short while only to get you out of the emergency. They can show you. I just pass around. Okay, the next one here, I had this gas jar. So gas jar here, right, is to poke under the aircraft wings, the fuel sump, right? And then you can supposed to inspect the fuel for any contaminants or water inside. I just start. Okay, then this one over here, yeah, this is the plotter that you have to carry on the plane. When you do diversion, right, take a map and do while flying the plane. So diversion is hard, I would say. Then I have this light over here. This is for night flight. Okay, so you see there's a red light here. This one here. Yeah, I can see. This one I wear on my forehead. So when you're on night flight, right, when you're controlling the plane, you can't take a torchlight out and see the instrument. So don't have a choice. You need that one. Okay, then this one over here. This is my aviation calculator that I use for the test. I think Singapore you can't use this, but in the US they allow this. Yeah, the white light is very bright. So you can take a look at the features that it has. So it's like help you to calculate aviation stuff. You can explore. Very nice calculator. Okay, it's a graphics. This one is the paper version of that. This is a slide rule. It's called E6V. I know a lot of people may find it, why so archaic? Why such an old way of? Yeah, but in the test, right, on the plane, right, I cannot use that one. So when I calculate gallons per hour or distance, right, I need to use this I need to turn the thing. It's like a slide rule okay, show you. Then this is my kneeboard. Okay, so this is actually strapped to my lap lah. So you can see all this now I replaced all the Singapore stuff already. This is my checklist. See, these are the important notes that I can take note. Right? Okay, just plus. Then this one is not on the. Okay, I pass my headset lah. Show you my headset. Aviation headset. So for fun. So this one is not your normal headphone. Very durable, right? Okay. Now this one, right, not on the slide, I only started using recently. So this one is on my lap. It's with the 4Flight app. It's an aviation app. So I use this now instead of the paper map. Okay. So what you're looking at, let's take a look at pre-flight checks, right? There's so many things you do. Check the light, check all these this is a flat, right? Everything, right? Fuel enough, check propeller, check the wheel, check everything. Right? Then give the briefing. I will show this briefing if I have time lah. Then okay, why don't I just show you one of the long distance flight I made in the US, right? So this is okay. Okay, so what is this flight about? Basically, I'm flying over to Torrance in Los Angeles, then I fly back lah. But I will just show you the key portions. How does one make a cross-country flight in the US? Okay, so I will request a service called flight following. Basically, the ATC will guide me there also. In a way, they help.
Ground, Cessna 24780 and Gibbs with information Tango. A request flight following to Torrance, Kilo Tango, Oscar Alpha. I'm a Cessna 172 Slang Golf, student pilot, no Bravo.
2470, Mike, cruising altitude this one.
Cruising altitude 5,500, 24780.
780 squawk 0201, departure frequency 119.6.
Squawk 0201, departure frequency 119.6, 24780. Montgomery ground 24780, change my cruising altitude is 6,500.
780, roger.
24780, am I clear to taxi to any runway?
780, I want to aware that you're ready to taxi. So are you?
24780 ready to taxi.
This is a funny, but I feel.
4780, I'm at Gibbs, I have Tango.
780, runway 28 left taxi via Juliet Hotel Bravo.
Juliet Hotel Bravo, 28 left, 4780.
So I fast forward the part. You see, it takes a while to taxi over to the runway. Quite far.
Montgomery Tower, Cessna 24780, holding short, 28 left, ready for western departure to Torrance. The pilot.
Cessna 24780, Montgomery Tower, Cirrus departing the Palo, runway is also westbound, runway 28 left, clear for takeoff.
28 left, clear for takeoff, 24780.
Okay. Come on here. Okay, let me fast forward. The takeoff you'll see before already. Okay. This one is special.
780, contact SoCal departure 119.6.
Contact SoCal departure 119.6, 24780.
So what is the tower doing is that she's handing me over to another controller already because I'm flying out of the airport airspace. So SoCal departure is in charge of the area.
SoCal, Cessna 24780, 1,500 feet, just departed Montgomery.
24780, SoCal approach, ident, clear through the Bravo, heading 270.
24780, identified, unable, student pilot, no Bravo.
24780, you read our contact, 3 miles west of Montgomery, remain outside of Bravo, and the mirror altimeter 3010.
Okay.
3010. I would like to climb
Let me
to
change
6,500
over.
after I reach Delmar.
780, roger, you can expect that, maintain VFR at 45 for now.
Okay.
Maintain at 4500. 2470.
Okay, so now I'll just fast forward to somewhere in the middle, right? Okay, so you see somewhere around here already. I'm not going to show you the whole video. Okay, so somewhere in the middle, right? I will listen to something called the ATIS. It's called ATIS, Automatic Terminal Information Service. So it's to tell me the airport information of the destination airport before I start going there, right?
Contact 124.1 2470.
It's 8:20. Oh, why is that?
SoCal, Cessna 24780 at 6500.
Number 2470 SoCal, approach information, Gulf current at points, maintain 6500, lower than expected.
Maintain 6500. I'll get the information of Torrance 2470.
In the vicinity of the airport, use caution for work in progress adjacent all runways and taxiways. Hazardous weather information for California and coastal waters available on HIWAS and flight service frequencies. All aircraft present full short and short speed and runway assignment with call signs. Advise on initial contact to you have golf. Airport information golf time 15470, wind calm, temperature 11, dew point 8.
Okay, so you get the idea lah. So it's all this information that come in.
29er right to meet landing and departing runways 29er. Point tower frequency 133.07. Use caution for bird activity on or in the vicinity of the airport. Use caution for work in progress adjacent all runways and taxiways. Hazardous weather information for California and coastal waters available on HIWAS and flight service frequencies.
Okay, so I'll fast forward to when I'm reaching the destination airport lah.
With call signs. Advise on initial contact to you have golf.
So as you can imagine, just now that one was a recording on the loop. Okay?
November 780, contact Torrance Tower 133.07. Good day.
I'm reaching already.
Contact Torrance Tower 133.07 24780.
Twin Tower 7 Tango Sierra.
Torrance Tower, Cessna 24780, with information Golf. I'm 11 miles south-east of you. Request full stop landing.
Number 24780, Torrance Tower, continuing down, report 84-mile final.
Report 4-mile final, 24780.
Number 78 Golf, turn left taxiway Charlie, contact ground.
780.
Okay, let's fast forward to when I'm near the landing.
24780, 4-mile final.
Number 780, runway 29 right, clear to land, caution wake turbulence, departing citation jet prior to your arrival.
29 right, clear to land, 24780.
Yeah, I fast forward this part. Okay, you want to see the landing, right? Okay. Okay, fast forward. So I would say this is one of my better landing, just the approach, because it's windy. So it's a reactive thing. I need to wait for aircraft to be affected, then I can correct for it. Right? Now people say how come my approach so shaky? You don't fly in flight simulator. Flight simulator, the difference is the wind is constant. The real life, right, the wind keep changing on. You see the US car park so big, and all are cars on the right side. Yeah, this runway is very big. Got jets jets take off and then from there. It's just not a very small plane. Okay, so this is, I'll say one of my better landings. Because partly there's not much wind. Okay, so that's all for this video. Let me continue. Okay, so after landing, what you do, right? Push the plane back. The plane, don't forget, cannot reverse one. Most people think, right? So you need to take this tow bar and push back, which is quite strong. Imagine after a flight you shag already, you come on the plane, still need to push the plane back and do a 90-degree parking. Okay, record the timer. Then you need to do all this, you know, need to put the wheel chock, cover all this, yeah, to protect. Plane very expensive, so you cannot like car just leave outside like that, right? Need to protect. Okay, so after I came back, right, I joined Seletar Flying Club because I wanted to at least maintain my skills. Okay, so this is just all the flights that I've made. So I say here in memory of N2180 Echo because this is the plane. It's no longer in Seletar Flying Club. It's sold already. But so far all my flights were on it. I flew even up to last month. See, this was my last flight there. So friends, even Ramu. Yeah. At least here is more clean shape. Yeah. See, Ramu is here. Right. Okay. So these are the extra stuff. The lessons that I learned. So during training, right, you are rarely pilot in command. Your instructor is. Okay. So normally if anything go wrong, your instructor will be faulted, not you. But after training already, right, you're on your own already. Anything goes wrong is your fault. Okay, so you can see, right, this is based from the law. The pilot in command of an aircraft is directly responsible for and is the final authority as to the operation of that aircraft. Yeah, anything wrong, your fault. Okay, in an emergency, right, you are given the power to deviate from any rule. You can break any law you want in the interest of safety, right? So let's say there's an engine failure, right, I can land on the highway one. I can land in the military airbase also can. I can land in Changi Airport also can. But you must justify later. You see, must send a written report, blah, blah, blah. You need to say why you do that. Okay? So it's a very powerful responsibility to have. So this is, someone once told me, everyone knows how to be a car passenger. Most don't know about being a light plane passenger. Right? They depend on you, the pilot, for everything. Because almost everybody has seen this in the car before. But almost no one has sat in a light aircraft before. Right? So you need to give something called a safety briefing, which I will show you what I gave to my parents. I brought my parents up. Okay, wait, let me jump to that part. 075. So this is a safety briefing, mandatory before every flight.
Okay, suppose to have a passenger briefing. If you're alright. Okay, so the seats, right, it's okay, right? Okay, air vent, there will be one below. There will be one below there. No fire extinguisher. Okay, the exits, right, there's only one exit for this. Later, when after the engine start up, right, before it both will close, then you will latch to one here and one at the top.
Two lights.
Yes. So when the lever goes to here, the latch comes to here. Okay. They'll only be open first. But after, when let's say during an emergency, if I have to do an emergency landing, right, just before touchdown, right, I will tell you to unlatch the doors. Right, so in case there's a crash, right, this thing will not jam. The door will not jam. Okay. Traffic, right. So later we go into one area, the northern part of Singapore. Okay. So there may be other aircraft there. So if you see other aircraft, right, then you just tell me. Okay. Then no talking during critical phases. So let's say during takeoff and landing, then no talk. Or when the controller is talking to me, don't say anything. Okay. So then after that, you got any question? This one. Okay, right.
Okay. So, very interesting, right? I repeat this for every flight. But by law, I have to do this. Yeah. Okay. Next one. So this one is better paiseh clarify than wrong. Okay. So I will show you something that very embarrassing. This was one of my early flights. Even before I took my parents, I took some friends who dared to be my early passengers. Okay. Where is the 740? Okay, so let me first say what's going on here. So while I was taxiing the aircraft, right, I will receive new taxi instructions. Okay, so you see what happened. It's a Seletar, yeah.
November 2180 Echo, affirm.
November 2180 Echo, clear the Echo Charlie 5, Echo Sierra, hold short, Echo Charlie 6.
November 2180 Echo.
Okay, my put here not transmitting. I didn't press the button. So I was talking and then I realized later I didn't press.
Please sometimes take note. Oh, sorry. November 2180 Echo. Say again the instructions.
0 Echo re-clear, turn left, Echo Charlie 5, Echo Sierra, and hold short, Echo Charlie 6. This is due to an inbound traffic shortly using Echo Papa.
November 2180 Echo, request progressive taxi.
Okay, make a first left here at Echo Charlie 5, sir.
November 2180 Echo, so down Echo Papa, I make my first left.
Okay, sir, advance on your visual with the taxiway, Echo Charlie 5.
November 2180 Echo, roger.
So I was given new instruction to taxi while I was moving. And at a rule, the aircraft cannot stop on the taxiway. You can't like take a car, okay, drive the car to the other side, park one side, do a street directory. I cannot stop. Alright. So how, it's like, I was really like, wow. That's why I asked for progressive taxi. Progressive taxi means that they will tell me turn left, turn right, turn left, turn right. It is embarrassing to ask for in the home airport. You're supposed to know your way. Why are you going to ask this kind of thing? Right, I just asked.
Echo Charlie 5, coming up shortly on your left, confirm visual.
November 2180 Echo, affirm.
And make a left here, Echo Charlie 5, and then turn right, Echo Sierra.
November 2180 Echo, make a left here, then turn right, Echo Sierra.
Echo Sierra, hold short, Echo Charlie 6.
Hold short, Echo Charlie 6, November 2180 Echo.
Okay. So, this is a very interesting person, and I will now forever remember where this taxiways. It's some ulu part of the airport. So I learned, just clarify, because, okay, imagine if I never go and ask, if I do something wrong, they will, scolding is one thing, you know. They can do something as, they can report me, then it's called pilot deviation. You can get penalty, severe penalty for that. So better to just ask. Embarrassed, never mind, just ask. Okay? So it got time, right? I show you one video here. So this one is with Rahu is inside there. Okay, let me show you. Oh, wait.
So what I will do first, right, is that I will...
Wait, let me find the exact. 1, 2, 10. So I'll show you, okay, what I'm going to show here is that the full steps. Requesting engine startup. How to start the engine. I think you all will find it interesting, right? Ready, how to call for taxi. Then all the abort plans and asking the tower for takeoff. This is the full one at Seletar. It's slightly different from the US.
Seletar ground, November 2180
Who will find this familiar?
Everyone, good morning.
November 2180 Echo, requesting engine startup. I'm at Alpha 53 with 3 BOB, 2.5 hours endurance, heading to the Alpha training area.
November 2180 Echo, copied, startup is approved and temperature 29, dew point 24, QNH 1012.
November 2180 Echo, startup is approved, QNH 1012. Will advise when ready to taxi.
November 2180 Echo, and say again the fuel endurance.
Fuel endurance, 2.5 hours, November 2180 Echo.
Copy, thank you.
Okay, so let me fast forward to the engine startup process. I didn't show you all in the past videos. It is a lot more complicated than a car. Car, you just turn key, you start, or press one button, you start, right? Wow, the plane one you see. Oh, crazy, the amount of steps.
We do the engine start checks. Okay. Interior. We already all this already. Interior flaps up. Passenger brief given. Flaps up is down all the way. Okay. Fuel proper tank. Okay, we can start off. Let me see the tag. We can see that the tag left is more than right. Okay, so I'll start with the right tag first.
And then Rahu asked me a nice question, right?
Because
yeah, but now it makes sense already, right? In hindsight. Because at the run-up, because you must take off with a fuller tank. So we need to test both tanks. So the best way is to switch to lower tank at the run-up before takeoff, switch to the fuller tank. So you get a chance to try both. Yeah, I didn't explain that part. Okay,
Protect circuit breakers. All in? Okay. Auto set supposed to be below, but it's 30, never mind. So, ELTR, seat track, backlock, ABL legs off. No autopilot here. Cup heat off. Off. Throttle sliding in. Brake set. I set the party brake, so it's fine.
A lot of things.
Then I'll shout. Route clear. Master on. Beacon on. So that it's under this one. Anti-collision lights. Okay. Fixture set full reach. Ramp as required. Okay, sorry, beacon off, fuel pump on. I missed one step. So fuel pump on. Ramp as required. 1, 2, 3. Leave it. Sorry, like that. Okay, the door don't just slightly like that. Yeah, hold it. Okay. Hold the brakes. Okay. All clear. Clear.
Okay. Okay, so aircraft engines are not as reliable. Piston engines, sometimes you need to try a few times. I ever got tried 5 times before. Crank, the thing just cannot start on. Yeah, Singapore's hot weather is not helping also for that.
Hey, cannot hear you.
Okay, that's all for this part.
Yeah.
So you can imagine the amount of steps that aircraft for piston engine. Nowadays, okay, one thing to know, what this plane was built in 1978. It was designed in the 1950s and 60s. So cars, even at that era, right, were like that one. Yeah, you need to do a lot of things. So of course, the plane technology roughly around the same. So that's why it's a lot of manual to this, not automated.
November 2180 Echo, ready to taxi.
November 2180 Echo, taxi via Echo Papa, holding point Echo 1, runway 21, QNH 1012.
November 2180 Echo, taxi via Echo Papa, hold Echo 1 for runway 21, QNH 1012.
Okay, let me jump to the next one. So I taxi over the runway. So, okay, this one is the abort plan. This is special because Rahul was there. I don't normally give the abort plan briefing to a passenger because they won't understand. But since you all are a lot of potential pilots here, right? So this is something that you have to think before you start taking off. Like, you need to have this in mind already. Okay, let me show you.
Right? Okay, so I will follow the 50-70 rule. I need to achieve 70% of my rotation speed by 50% of the runway. Okay, that means right, my rotation speed is 55 knots. I need to hit at least 40 knots by the time I'm halfway. Halfway is where the control tower is. Control tower is the halfway mark of this one. So I must hit 40 knots. If not, we will just throttle idle. There will be abort the takeoff. Then I'll diagnose what happens. Engine failure on the takeoff row, abort straight away. Throttle idle, we exit the runway.
Okay. This one I say might not be possible. I said wrongly. If your engine failure already on the takeoff row, you can't even move out of the runway. Right?
Engine failure after rotation and still sufficient runway remaining, we will land back on the same runway. If it's not enough runway remaining, right, then I have to find an emergency landing spot somewhere in front, most probably an expressway. If it's above 1000 AJL, we should be able to come back to Seletar and then. Yeah?
Okay, let me jump.
Seletar Tower, November 2180 Echo, holding at Echo 1, ready for departure. We would like to do one round in circuit for touch and go before going to the aircraft training area.
November 2180 Echo, Roger, stand by.
November 2180 Echo, standing by.
Okay, so I will wait for some time so I will fast forward.
November 2180 Echo, Seletar Tower.
November 2180 Echo, go ahead.
November 2180 Echo, be advised to keep saturated, expect to depart for Area Alpha.
November 2180 Echo, Roger, we'll depart for Area Alpha.
November 2180 Echo, line up runway 21.
Line up runway 21, November 2180 Echo.
I just saw you have to take off lah.
I need to do the weightless correction, right? Fixture set full reach, turning lights on, back altered. Okay, wheel pump on. Saturated, I cannot.
Runway 21 is 0 echo, so base wind 150 degree at 10 knots. Runway 21, clear for takeoff.
Runway 21, clear for takeoff. November 21 is 0 echo. Okay, saturated.
Cannot let 6 again, okay? 6 request flight. Alright, 6 clear, approved.
Okay, finals clear.
You see, Soita runway is very, very big.
Alright, my request on you right then. Alright, 5 negative.
The SYFC guy here, I really find this very familiar.
Lima number 3.
Okay, airspeed is alive. Okay, temperature indicator is in the green.
Right, extending up. Right side.
Okay, 55, rotate.
Okay, let me skip this. No more already. Okay, so I'll come to the conclusion. So I hope it was worth it, everything. Okay, if you think this line came from me, no, it came from my parents. So my parents were the one who said it. Okay, because yeah, obviously I spent a lot of money on this. People ask me what did I gain from this? Like, tell me, you spent so much money already. How does it help you? I'll say, in terms of practical life skills, right? No, but intangible gains, yes lah. So things like I've done what few people have done in their lives. I can fly a plane which very few people in this world have the privilege to. I gain many technical skills. I learn many skills like multitasking, thinking before I speak, perform under stress. Really very stressful. Like you can go up and come out, you'll be like drenched in sweat, right? I made a lot of sacrifices so things like missed investment opportunities. With the same amount of money, I could have done so much more, right? I could have invested or get a master's degree. People ask me, right? I can probably get 2 or 3 master's degrees with the amount of money I spend, right? But thing is, master's degree is a lot more common than a private fire license, right? Then I spent a lot of time studying night classes, means that I don't have any social life. I didn't meet a lot of new people. I could gain a lot of connections. So these are things that you have to sacrifice. Okay, so this code is something that I really like. It's based from Jess Rio. He's an instructor in Singapore. Following the rules keeps your license. Thinking outside the box keeps you alive. Right? Okay, so this was the timeline from the time I set my goal here at this card. This is the most expensive card that I have. Right? Then this is I shall leave you with the letter that the FAA sent, because whenever you get a new license, they will send you this letter. See? You see, we hope you carry your MS certificate with pride as it represents your accomplishments and privileges in our commitment to the aviation community. Right? It's a very inspiring letter. Even you can read the whole thing. Okay? So yeah, that is all for my presentation. Yeah. Any questions? Okay, thank you. Yeah, so question time.
What's the cost like?
Okay, see, I know everybody asks that kind of question. Okay, I give you so when you ask me the question, I even write a blog post on this topic. Okay, see, I got this consideration of picking a flight school. I wrote this very recently. I think if you all see my blog post, right, you'll probably see this. How much did it cost for your PPL so I can budget? Okay, so please read my model answer here. Okay, the issue is that I find no real point to tell the cost right in the open like that. You see, I ask 10 different people and you get 10 different answers. Right? The key thing is that this last 2 paragraphs, right? It depends a lot. Which country you take, your curriculum, your lessons, and your aptitude. And your aptitude is the biggest factor. It seems strange, right? Because your aptitude will determine the number of hours that you need. Alright. And the number of hours is proportional to your cost. Right? Okay? So if you want to know the cost, of course I won't hide it, I will tell you, but I will not mention in recording because it's a very sensitive topic. So I don't mind chatting with you after that to tell you how much I actually spent. Okay? Yeah.
What is November 2180 Echo
mean? It is the plane license registration number. Okay, let me. Do I have the picture of that? So Okay, let's see this one. N21 is where I go. You see? Yeah. So it's your call sign. The plane you are in will be your call sign. Yeah.
What are the aircraft available for you to fly this flying club?
What are the aircraft available? Okay. As of 2 weeks ago, okay, they had 3 planes. Okay, one of them is, let me go back, is that Cessna. Okay, this plane has always been with them. This plane I think is 40 years old already. Yeah, don't get shocked by the age. 40 years old is normal. Okay, their second plane, might as well I show you Seletar Flying Club website lah. Why I say that? Okay, so this is their first plane. Their second plane is, do they have it? The second plane is here. Okay, this is maintenance. So this is their second Cessna, is US registered, N5748E. The Piper Warrior, that is their third plane. But that Warrior was sold 2 weeks ago. So now they only left 2 planes. This plane is in a workshop. So now they only have 1. And currently I cannot fly this plane, remember, because I don't have a Singapore license. Even though I may be technically capable, I cannot fly this plane. It's tied to the license, which country we take from. But the strange things about US planes are you can fly US planes without a US license, but only in the airspace. So for example, you got a Singapore license, you can fly a US registered plane within Singapore. If you have, let's say the US registered plane is in Malaysia, you have a Malaysian license, you can fly that, but only within Malaysia. This fact is not very well known, but only applies to US aircraft. Okay, any more questions?
Can you extend your US license to a Singapore license?
Okay, so let me expand the question. Convert one license from one country to another. Yeah. Okay, so there are several options for that. Do I have the okay, never mind. Okay, so to convert to a Singapore license, right, you need to take some tests. You need to take an air law exam, and you need to take a check ride. You don't obviously need the full training hours because you already know how to fly, but you need some training with the instructor. Then some of the tests may be different. Example, there's something called practice force landing. I don't know how you do it. From 2,500 feet, the tester will put the engine to idle to simulate engine failure. You must be able to land the aircraft from overhead the runway, 2,500 feet, circle down, and not just land anywhere. You need to land some 1,000 feet zone, I think. Some designated area. You cannot take you need to land at a certain point. Okay? The US one does not have this. I don't have a practice force landing like that. This is one maneuver. Another thing is a power on stall. Power on stall, Singapore don't have. US got. There's something called the ground reference maneuver. Do a S-turn, turn around the point. Singapore don't have that, but US have. So some country got test a bit differently. So these procedures has to be learned if you never do before. Okay. So but the US something very special. See, US very special one. Right. Let me show you. Okay. So this thing. It is trivial to use the strength of any ICAO license to get an FA PPL piggyback. Okay, so if you want to get a US license, there's 2 ways. One, you take the full way, you take a check ride, FA check ride, then you get a full FA license. Another way is to get FA PPL piggyback. What this means is that you have any license. ICAO means pretty much every country outside the US. Like Singapore license, right? I can go to the FAA. I tell the FAA, I got this license. Can you issue me a piggyback? They will just issue it to you. The process is a lot more complicated than that, but it's simple enough such that you don't even need to take a check ride. It's an administrative issue. Probably a few days in the US you spend there. After you get the piggyback, right, the validity and restriction of the PPL will become contingent on your CAS license. Because remember, a CAS license, right, cannot fly cross country one. And another one, a CAS license don't fly at night. My US license, I can allow to fly at night. This will become limited to that. Because the US license will follow the law, they follow your check ride, your standard of your country. So this is the limitation. The thing is, if your original license expires, right, your US license will also expire together. Only US got this thing, piggyback. No other country, almost everyone, they'll tell you to take a check ride. Okay, any more question?
Sorry, there's one more I noticed on the website. It's part 61.
See, you all do the homework. Okay, what's the question about it? I thought it was quite detailed.
What is it,
There, two main type of fly school.
yeah, what's the difference other than like
Okay, I don't.
same planes.
Yes, okay, one of them I didn't write here, but 141 is targeted more towards airlines.
Okay.
So they are more strict. And another thing, again, not here, is that you want to get certain subsidies. I think certain, like for example, veterans in the US, right? They can get subsidies for training. That include pilot training. They can only get subsidies for Part 141 school because it's FAA regulated. It's not some top dig at Harry school.
Okay. But part 61 is you fly the same plane, but it's just
Same training.
so much
Okay.
regulations.
Okay, you all take the same check, right?
Okay.
Same standard, same theory test. So, but the way to get around to that point is different. Part 141 is very strict syllabus. Part 61 is like a private driving instructor. He just teach you as you think, then deem you okay, you take the test. Okay, yeah, you have to try.
Why don't we have any gliders in this region, Malaysia and Singapore?
You need a large space and you need thermals. Like the rising air mass. I think it's better in near mountainous area. I think so, I'm not sure. We don't have much here. Your airspace also, because okay, gliders, they are not as controllable. You don't have an engine. So you need a very large space. If you don't have a large space, it's very hard. It's very easy to, okay, let's say the ATC tell you, I want you to climb to this altitude. Glider, I cannot just climb like that. What? I mean, glider confirm can descend very fast, but how you climb? Cannot. You are very limited in your control.
Also, why are we still using Cessna when they're so old?
Okay, why Cessna? Why this lane, right? Okay, Cessna 172 is true the design is old, but there are many revisions. What? Okay, let's see. You can see started 172 A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K until S. Where's the latest one? S. A, okay, 1908 still quite old. What's the yeah, S. Okay, why they like to use this is because they call it very forgiving to mistakes. It is slow. It is deliberately slow. Because let's say the other very common plane is a Piper Warrior. The next common one is a Cirrus SR20. Those are okay. Cirrus is very fast plane. It's not so conducive because you make a mistake, right? It means that you don't have enough time to correct for mistakes. They purposely want a plane that is slow, and when it's stall, right, it's very obvious that it's stall. Let's say like when you lose lift, it drops. Like the drop is very obvious. And another thing is because the plane is so widely available, instructors are very familiar with that plane. If you bring to another new plane, the instructor need to train that new plane first before they can teach. Okay. Any more questions? Okay.
One last question. Which parts were scary and which parts were really enjoyable for you?
Scary. Definitely first solo is the scariest. Like enjoyable. Okay, maybe I'll say in terms of the maneuver, which one I like the most is power on stall. Okay, power on stall. I think CAS don't have this. Singapore don't have. So what the maneuver is to simulate a stall in the takeoff configuration. Okay, so what happens is that, okay, let's say for traveling, right? You take off rotation speed of 55 knots. You slow the aircraft to 55 knots. The aircraft pitch up quite high. Okay, then you put full power. The aircraft pitch up so high. Basically, you cannot even see the ground anymore. You don't even see the horizon. You just see sky. Then you're supposed to pitch so high until the aircraft stall. The aircraft just and you need to hold right rudder at the same time also, because the aircraft will tend to turn to the left. There's a left turning tendency for a plane. Right. So that one I say is like it's the most thrilling maneuver. In terms of cognitively, the most difficult is diversion. Okay, so let's go back to the diversion slides. Yeah, that one I failed in stage 2. It's really, really hard. Okay, so imagine, right? Okay, let me show everything. Okay, so if I hear out the cup here, right? So I need to actually put the plane in a holding pattern, and there's no autopilot in the plane. So I circle, right? And while circling, I need to take my map and do calculation, and do all this already. Okay, once I find direction, I start heading towards it. And while heading towards it, while flying the plane, I need to do all this. So that makes this most challenging, I would say. Okay, in terms of cognitive, in terms of technique, short field landing is the hardest for me. And this I take 15 hours. You need to touch down at 200 feet. I keep on cannot make it. Hard, especially when the crosswind comes in somewhere. Wow, then challenging already. Yeah. Okay, no more questions. Any more? Oh, questions?
Can you get a spin rating in Singapore or Malaysia?
Sorry, say?
Can you get a spin rating in Singapore or Malaysia?
Spin rate? Is there such a thing? Spin rating?
I think there is, but I'm not sure whether you can get it.
Spin rating, okay, I don't think there's such a thing. As for FA1, right, is, I think commercial you have to do. I think private pilot, only if the plane can do it. Yeah. Cessna 172 is not rated for a spin. Unless it's something called utility category. Another thing, you need to remove a lot of things from the plane, then you can do it. So they don't. Commercial maybe have.
How long was your jet ride?
I think 2 hours. Did I mention this? Yeah. Yeah, here, like 3 to 4 hours for the oral exam, 1.5 to 2 hours for the flight. Okay, so in this flight, right, you're supposed to simulate flying to another airport. But the tester obviously don't have time. I mean, okay, this airport is in Las Vegas, KBGT. You take about 3 hours or 4 hours to go there. Obviously, I'm not going to fly that long. So you fly the first few sections of your flight plan. Then the tester will say, okay, please divert me to this place. Test all your skills. Then after that, once you finish everything already, you land back at your original airport. Yeah, it's challenging. 3 to 4 hours of oral exam. The hardest I think when you go out to flight instructor is 1 whole day. Or 2 days. Just on the theory oral exam.
How they ask you? They just
ask you every single thing that a pilot is supposed to know. Because private pilot is the first. Instrument rating is above. Then once you go to commercial, then if you want to do instructor is on top. And instructor is supposed to know everything from private, instrument, commercial.
There's no written exam.
It's MCQ, done in computer. Same as your driving test also, is on a computer one. Okay.
how do you get your audio feed?
Okay, I have something called a cockpit audio cable. Okay, I'll not just find for you all. Maybe audio. There, GoPro. I use this one. Okay, so this one here, right, will connect to the passenger headset connector. Then the other side goes to my GoPro. Okay, this is a 3.5mm. So GoPro, they have a USB-C connector. Yeah. Okay, any question? Okay.
Consider light spot.
Why I have a light spot is actually less privileged than a private pilot.
So I mean, just in terms of the money.
Okay, okay, if you I think you Google, they probably find a lot of school of thought. Like a lot of instructors say, don't bother, just get a private pilot. Okay, first thing, a light spot license is not recognized in Singapore. You cannot even bring a light spot aircraft into Singapore. It's not allowed. The CAS don't allow this at all. Okay, so if I take, also no use. I only can take it. I know US and Australia, they have something like light spot. Okay, next is the privileges that come with it. I think light spot, you can only fly aircraft with 1 passenger in the day. In a lot of restrictions basically. Okay, if you want to unlock the restriction, you need to take a instruction or test. So you see, by the time you take all these things, right, you might as well take a private pilot. A private pilot is a lot more useful, unless you're just happy to fly around your airport. I think light spot aircraft, you cannot fly to another airport also. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, what are the restrictions?
Then I can't fly if I take that, I come back to Singapore, I cannot do anything with it. Then any question?
Any final questions?
Any final?
No, thank you.
Okay. Okay. Let's close.
Yeah. So that concludes our talk for today. We're having